This episode was brought to you by Pentester Academy, the leader in online cybersecurity education. Join over 10,000 professionals from 90 countries to learn security online. Also brought to you by Hacker Arsenal, artillery for cyber warriors. Visit us on hackerarsenal.com to check out our latest attack defense gadgets. I'm Marley Oxenholm from Pentester Academy TV, and welcome to our show, Access Point, where we spotlight cybersecurity companies and give an inside look at the people and technology behind the latest advancements in the industry. Today, I will be speaking with the company Remediant. I'm sitting down right now with Paul Lanzi, who is co-founder and COO of the company. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Marley.
Absolutely. I got a lot of great questions here from our tech team, so you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
All right. So first question, can you tell us about the founding of Remediant? Who are the founders? How did you guys meet, and why did you decide on this idea?
Yeah, so Tim Keeler and I have worked together in biotech for about 10 years. And during that time, we both worked in information security jobs and really struggled with the state-sponsored actors that we were up against. We found that the providers, the software solutions that we had available in the marketplace just weren't sufficient for what we needed to go up against some of these state-sponsored actors. About 6 years ago, Tim left biotech to do consulting to help other companies recover from state-sponsored actor breaches. And during that time, really came up with the idea that now founds the core of what we developed with Secure One. About 2.5 years ago, we pivoted over to being just a product company, and about a year ago, released a product for general availability.
Wonderful. Okay, nice. And now, what would be the elevator pitch for Remediant?
You know, we really comes down to privilege access. And what we find is that most companies have no idea what the distribution of privilege access is in their ecosystem. And so there's two things that we do that are very different. The first is we continuously inventory to find where privilege access is distributed in the ecosystem. And second, we give companies the tools that they finally need to be able to lock down privilege access and ensure a minimal security, minimal privilege state across their ecosystem.
Okay, and now just speaking of privileged access really quickly, can you tell me more about that and just why it's so important?
Yeah, so privilege access has to do with having elevated rights, either at the operating system level or inside of an application or inside of a database. It is the number one attack vector. If you look at the Verizon data breach report, the vast majority of attacks involve using a compromised privilege account at some point in the attack chain. And that's why we sort of focus on this as something that we thought we could help out with.
Okay, wonderful. And now what stage would you say that the company is currently in?
Yeah, so our product is now generally available.
Nice.
We've been out of beta for about a year or so.
Okay.
And really happy with what our customers have found that they can use our solution for.
Okay. And now speaking of customers, who uses Remediant? What does your primary customer base look like?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different use cases for a privilege access management solution. The core one is really about being able to lock down privilege access across the ecosystem. So it appeals to the IT operations teams, but as well as the information security teams. So those are really our buyers across the marketplace. And as far as the companies that we think can benefit from us the most, it really comes down to the number of IT administrators you have. So a lot of companies, a lot of large companies might have dozens or even hundreds of IT administrators that have persistent rights across thousands, if not tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands of computers. That's a situation we can help out with.
Okay, so a lot of large enterprises then. Got it.
Right.
Wonderful. Okay. And now, can you talk about the evolution of the threat landscape and how that drove the need for a company like Remediant?
Yeah, the threat landscape, I don't have to tell you, has evolved significantly.
Yes.
Right? The attackers are out there and they're coming up with new tools every day. Unfortunately, the provider landscape hasn't really kept up. And the last time that something new in the privileged access management arena launched was in 1999 when password vaults first launched. So we really thought that we could bring a new approach to the privileged access market, and so the approach that we take is significantly different. We're hoping to advance the the innovation on the provider side a bit.
Okay, wonderful. And now, can you share a case study on how your product helped a customer secure themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. About a year and a half ago, we met Lockheed Martin, and they're now our largest customer. And we met them at the sidelines of the Black Hat conference in Las Vegas, and got talking with one of the deputy CISOs there. And they described a need for just-in-time administration, where they have literally thousands of administrators accessing hundreds of thousands of systems. And previously, they had solutions in place to sort of protect that access, but they felt like there was something better, that something better was possible, and they were ready to go build their own tool because they couldn't find what they wanted in the marketplace.
Okay.
And we're really proud to say that we went from that first conversation to having a fully deployed production solution in less than 3 months.
That's wonderful. Very nice. Okay. And now, I know you just mentioned that, but speaking of Remediant's progress, have there been any more notable milestones for you guys in the market?
Yeah, I think our biggest benefit is that we can do a one-day proof of concept. So literally we can come in and within just a few hours with our continuous monitoring technology, be able to show the distribution of privileged access across the whole ecosystem. And that kind of speed to benefit is really unheard of in the information security world.
Very nice. Okay. And now what are Remediant's plans for 2018?
Yeah, we have some big plans for 2018. Yeah. So today our solution is deployed as an on-premise appliance, which we will continue to support that deployment model. But we're also going to be launching in 2018 a cloud-based solution where a very light virtual machine gets deployed in whatever ecosystems the enterprise wants to protect. And then our cloud control panel is sort of the central point for all the privileged access in the ecosystem. So we think that these two deployment models will appeal to different customers and be flexible to meet whatever the regulatory or other requirements are for customers across the landscape.
Are there any last things that you'd like to highlight about the product or the company as a whole?
Yeah, we really see that this is sort of the tip of the iceberg. So when we talk about privileged access and we talk about at the operating system level, we support Windows and Unix endpoints. We also think about, in the future, protecting privileged access across things like databases and network appliances and cloud control panels themselves. Yeah. And so we really feel strongly that privileged access is one of the core central tenets that underpins information security requirements for large enterprises. And by the way, NIST thinks the same thing. So NIST is actually working on guidance right now for the financial institutions about how they can apply new thinking in PAM to protecting financial institution sector systems and data. Similarly, NIST has also provided guidance to the defense sector and is working on guidance for the hospitality sector about how they can apply privileged access protections across their ecosystems as well. So it feels like an old problem that's been around forever, as long as privileged access has been around, but pretty excited to bring some new thinking to the space.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sitting down and speaking with me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And that's all the time we have for today, so be sure to tune in next time for another episode of Access Point. Also, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook so you don't miss out on any of the latest cybersecurity news. This episode is brought to you by Pentester Academy, the leader in online cybersecurity education. Join over 10,000 professionals from 90 countries to learn security online. Also brought to you by Hacker Arsenal, artillery for cyber warriors. Visit us on hackerarsenal.com to check out our latest attack defense gadgets. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.